I thought this would be a great topic, and I hope that I can do it justice, because it really is something that I haven't studied long enough, but something that is really current in my life, where we can sow the seeds of any kind of emotional issue that we have. We can sow the seeds into personal growth and spiritual growth. And here's some of the things that I've been learning. Well, first, let me say that where this connects to the Tidy Tutor is we hold on to things like they matter really a lot to us, right? Like, we'll have things, and like one of the questions I get asked the most is, how do I let go of the things that matter to me? How do I let go of the things that I'm so attached to, or things that belonged to my mother, my grandmother, or things that I had from childhood that I just don't want, I don't need, they're broken, but I still can't let go of them, or it's difficult for me to let go of them. Because of course we can do anything, right? So it's really just a decision that we need to make. And the reason that it's hard to make that decision is the emotional tie that we have to that thing. Let's face it, if there was no emotional tie to that thing, we'd just get rid of it, right? So here's the thing that I'm learning. We hold on to many things, not just physical. We hold on to personal hurts, to even some things that are good. Not that it's a bad thing to experience good things. Of course, it's a wonderful thing to experience good things. But if we hold on to these things that either were just wonderful, wonderful things or hurtful things, something that would have hurt us, we can be stuck. Everything has energy, and we know this. This is something that they have proven, that they have seen, that everything is energy, that there's all these cells that are just moving around really, really quickly, so quickly that it becomes mass. Like, we know this. So everything is there, and it has to go somewhere. Energy has to go somewhere. So if we've experienced something that was hurtful. Now, in the Bible, as most of you know, I'm sure you do, if you follow me, you know that I'm Christian. There's a verse in the Bible that says that we could be wounded in the spirit. So what does that mean, to be wounded in the spirit? Well, you can't really see it, right? Spirit is invisible. But we know that there's things that hurt, or feelings. Feelings are invisible, right? When you're thinking of something of the heart, we do this. When it's thinking of something of the mind, we do this, right? These things aren't tangible, but we know that they exist. So to be wounded in the spirit means that we were hurt emotionally, and a lot of times this is when we were little children, and we didn't have the understanding of, no, I don't have to believe that. As long as we believe it, it's true to us. So if we were hurt as a little girl, then we're holding on to that, or a little boy, we're holding on to that for years. And unless we can stop for a second and say, where is this coming from? Like if you're somewhere and you smell something, or you're somewhere and you see something, or you're out in like a crisp, say, September morning or something, and all of a sudden it brings up something, and maybe you feel sadness. And you're like, where is this coming from? Well, it's something that got stuck when you were maybe little. Maybe you were, and it doesn't have to be anything dramatic either. Sometimes it is, but it doesn't have to be. If you're a little person and somebody said to you, ew, you're ugly, and you're little and you hear that and it feels bad, then that's something you could hold on to and believe. Especially if you're told that over and over again, you're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly, you'll never amount to anything. Like these things that we've heard, we hold on to them. And as children, we do the best we can to, move on. It's where the body is all about survival. So it'll make up a story. It'll do whatever it has to do to survive and to be okay. But as we grow up, what we have to recognize is that those things are still there. So that's why when you smell something, that say you smell a beautiful, say a nice macaroni meatballs or something, right? You smell the garlic frying, you smell the pasta, you smell the gravy, unless you're somebody that says sauce, it's up to you, the red sauce or the gravy. If you smell that, you walk into it. If that had really wonderful feelings for you, then you're going to feel so good inside. But if it had really bad feelings for you, say it wasn't a good life or something with your Italian family, because that's the whole Italian food, then it would feel bad inside. And here's the thing, all right? I know, I'll get to a point. The point is that we can, as adults, step back and say, all right, this feels a certain way. I want to let this go. Where did this come from? And then we could get quiet and say, all right, I'm going to, because you know what? We're not the thoughts. We are the observer of the thoughts. The thoughts come and go. We're not the thoughts. We're the observer of the thoughts. So if we can separate ourselves from it and be quiet in the inside and say, okay, I feel this feeling. I'm wounded in the spirit. Obviously, I'm wounded in the spirit. God, help me. Help me to see where this came from. Help me to feel it and let it go. Because there was a time when we felt it and we held on to it and we pushed it down. We just shoved it down. Think about what it would do to a cut that you have. Maybe you have a boo-boo, right? You got a cut and we ignored it. What would happen? Eventually it would get infected. It gets to the point sometimes that an infection can kill you. It gets to a point sometimes where you could lose a limb because of an infection, right? We can't ignore physical pains. We can't ignore emotional pains. Yet that's exactly what we do, right? We'll push it down, and then what happens? The moment something comes up in our lives that is similar to what we experienced at one time, it comes up because it's still there. It didn't go away. It's energy. It's still there. So we need to relax and release. We need to just say, oh, all right, I feel this feeling. This means that there was a time in my life when something happened and it hurt me and I held on to it. And it's just like a festering wound. It's a wound in the spirit. And yeah, it could be down there, not doing anything until it's triggered. Haven't you ever said that? Oh, that triggered me. What about that pushed my button? So we can use those instances in our lives to get healed of those things. You know, most of you know that I was in this really, really bad car crash about in 1989, I think it was, or maybe 1990. And it was pretty bad. Like I had a lot of pain, and I had a lot of broken bones, right? Some of them were crushed. It was really bad. I could have died. The thing is that I don't feel that pain anymore. The reason is because I've been healed. So if you have emotional pain, you might remember the pain. I remember the accident. Well, kind of. The whole part of the pain. Boy, I remember that, right? I remember, you know, being in traction. I remember having my jaw wired. I remember it being so painful even for a sheet to lay on my foot. I remember it felt like there was an anvil hanging from it. It was so painful just to have a sheet on it. I remember that, but do I feel the pain? Nope. Why not? Because I've been healed. So when we have this feeling on the inside that makes us feel like, oh, don't talk to me about that. Oh, don't, no. Oh, I can't go there. I'm never going to go there again. You know what happened to me there? It means that there's something that's still there. We need to be healed from that. And it's an incredible amount of growth that we have. And what I'm learning is that there is so much joy inside of us just wanting to come out and bubble up and fill us up, that there are people out there that live with perpetual joy. Even when things bad happen, yes, they experience the pain. We're not robots. We'll experience the pain, but they let it go. They understand that, yes, this is part of life. But even that part of life is a joy to have, because guess what we get to? I have people in my life that are not here anymore. So would it be a joy for these people who are not able to breathe the breath that we have, to see the sunset, to enjoy their grandchildren, to enjoy their child, to continue on with a venture, painting, piano, language, travel? They can't do it, right? So let's say something that is devastating happens, right? Yes, they would have felt the pain. But me and you now, just knowing that they would be here to feel the pain. It's a joy to know that we get to, because this pain kind of stuff, it's inevitable, right? Jesus said, in this world you will have tribulation. Be of good comfort. I've overcome the world, right? We know that there's good and bad. There's yin and yang, right? The sun raises on the just and the unjust. Rain comes, all of that, right? But the thing is that we get to. So when it comes to an item that you have, a thing, something that mattered to you, right? Something, even maybe something that's completely irreplaceable, right? This is something that now you feel this pain. Guess what? This is an opportunity to release whatever that is that you're, because guess what? That thing, it's not the cause. The thing that you're feeling like, oh, I'm so sad because I lost this thing, or I'm so sad because I threw out this book that I forgot had a picture of so-and-so in it, and I'll never be able to have that picture again. Like, there's some devastating things that, well, not, maybe the word devastating isn't the right word to use. There's some irreversible things that happen in life, right? But that's what death is. We can't do anything about that, right? But we can mourn it. It's okay to feel the sorrow of the fact that maybe we got rid of a picture that we'll never be able to replace, or we got rid of a piece of furniture that now we wish we still had, right? Or maybe there was a fire and there is all this damage and there's things you can't get back again, right? Maybe you're decluttering. You want to have a clean home. You want to have a beautiful, streamlined, lovely home, but you're attached to these things. The thing is that it's not the things. It's something else. It's something else that is trapped inside of us that we have allowed to get stuck there because we were not taught how to feel the feelings and let them go. We weren't taught that. So what we were taught, well, stop crying, get over it, right? Why? Because we didn't know how to do it. Our parents didn't know how to do it. Now that we're grown-ups and we get to be our own mommy and daddy, right? We can now say, all right, well, I don't want to live with all of these things having total reign and priority in my life. I want to be priority in my life. I want to feel the pain, get over the sorrow, and move on. And I want to smell macaroni and meatballs cooking and love it. I want to go to a restaurant that I really used to love, but now I hate because my ex-husband used to bring me there and I hate my ex-husband. Like, whatever it is, right? These things that we hold on to, we become like a bubble person. Like, well, trying to guard all of our stuff when in reality, what wants to happen is joy wants to flood our bodies, flood us, so that we live in perpetual love and peace on the inside, regardless of what goes on. So the next time you go to let go of an item, of something, a possession that you own, that you don't want anymore, you don't need anymore, it doesn't fit anymore, but you're keeping it because it belonged to so and so, or you're keeping it because it was a gift, or you're keeping it because it was valuable and you bought it, and what are you going to do with it? You spent good money on this. Or if it's something that you got rid of on accident, or you wish you didn't get rid of, or it was a mistake, or whatever, right? Whatever it is, use this moment to get quiet on the inside and practice letting it go, so that you could be healed, so that you could go to a wedding and dance and not feel any pain, even though 25, 30 years ago, you were in a car accident and you could barely breathe without pain, right? You want to just be healed. You want to be healed. So if you have a hard time letting go of things, give it a bigger meaning. Give it the meaning of you are giving yourself the permission to be happy always. And this is one of those things that you could use as practice to let go, to relax, feel it, notice it, and release it. All you got to do is, it seems like, well, how do I do that? Doesn't it feel like I'm just pushing it down? You'll know, because you're not going to push it down. You're going to allow yourself to feel the feeling and let it go. Now, people do this that don't believe in God, don't have Jesus in their life, don't have a higher power. People do this and it still works. But I could tell you from experience, you have an added benefit to having a higher power, to saying, can you help me with this? You're not alone. And I think it's just beautiful that God has set all of this in place, that if we only knew that this is what we could do, we could live our lives, in a kind of like a perpetual state of satisfaction and joy. Joy is from the inside. Happiness is based on what happens around us, but joy is something that happens because we're thankful. We're thankful to be alive, because we're aware that we're so lucky that we get to breathe the air, that we get to have a heart that beats, that we get to experience life. All that other stuff, it just stands in the way. So there's that. I know I went on for quite a while. I hope that, I hope it helps somebody and it'll bless you, just to sow the seeds when you're letting go of something, that it's something that's going to give back to you in a way that you just didn't know it could have. All right, if anybody wants to know about my course, the Tidy Tutor Masterclass, then you can go to my website. On the top, there's a little thing, I think it says store or shop or something, and you could find out about my course. And I have insiders. It's a group where we get together and, we make this shit happen. We make it happen. No man is an island. It's tough to do this stuff alone. It's wonderful to have each other, as most of you who are here can attest to, because most of you that are here that I could see, you're in my insiders, and so you know the value. All right, take care. God bless. Bye.